Hey, welcome back to Left 4 Dead Garage. What's new? You should have seen the first, I guess, which is the second video, because the first video would be when I got all this junk on the 55. That's as far as I've got. This video we are back on, boom, the OBS GMC. I looked at this truck for a good 3 or 4 minutes trying to figure out what was different. They painted the roll pan. It was black before. Pretty sure it was black before. But anyway, probably wondering what we're doing to the OBS this time around. Well, I'm going to continue on the path of 10-bolt destruction. But this is an upgrade, which may help the life of the 10 bolts because it won't wheel hop. Because those trucks, those long 63-inch leaf springs are pretty prone for wheel hop. But I definitely got a solution for that right here. Calvert Racing CalTracs. Man, these things right here, that is the best thing you could ever do to a leaf spring. I've had 68 Camaro with some, and then I had that white 04 GMC Denali pickup thing, and I had CalTracs on it. And this junk behind me will also have CalTracs. It's a bolt-on traction device. If you don't know what these are, it's a bolts-on to the bottom. It's the leaf spring mount, the lower mount, and it's got a bar that runs in line with the leaf springs, and it's got this triangle looking doohickey that goes on the front of the leaf spring eye, and it wraps around, which I could probably just show you instead of try to halfway explain it. So let's get this box door open. All right, like I said, Calvert Racing, they do obviously these CalTracs. They also do some shocks and some leaf springs. If I'm not mistaken, I had Calvert springs on my Camaro, or they might have been Landrums. I can't remember. Either way. But yeah, if you have a fast leaf sprung car, then there's a real good chance that you're riding on CalTracs. These aren't the easiest things to mount, because if I'm not mistaken, all the kits come with a solid aluminum spring guide bushing for the front, so we'll have to press out the front spring bushing. This is your U-bolt plate, lower hum. Oh boy, packing peanuts. Let's see, yep. Comes with solid aluminum front bushings. That keeps that spring eye from doing funky stuff under a load. End up dumping this off on the floor. I can see that. This is the little triangle thing I was telling you about. So the way this works, spring eye, this sits on top of the leaf spring, and then you have a bar that connects these two. So you adjust this thing down to where this is just touching the leaf spring. So when the rear end goes to wrap up, this thing does like this, pushes the leaf spring back down, and it'll actually cause a lift in the rear end when it plants the tires. I'm just going to go ahead and, I guess I could have cleaned the table off. I'll go ahead and get all these parts out, because I better contain these packing peanuts ASAP. Here's your bar that connects those two guys. And that should be everything. Now, I'll close this here box up before I knock it off this stool. and picking up packing peanuts. Like I was saying, leaf spring goes through here, your spring eye will be there. That's obviously more adjustment, bring that bar up or down, however, and then that adjuster bar ties these guys together. The only thing I've ever ran into, this truck should be okay from the looks of it. It's been lowered, so it's got new U-bolts, and those are still, looks like they got about 1 inch of thread, so that shouldn't be a problem. Get these things put on there. But the worst part about any of it is the bushings. Luckily, I have a press, and I can set up a jig and we can press these things out. It's just a pain in the hiney, and I'll do is we'll just do one side at a time. I'm just going to show you one side because the other side will be the same, and plus it saves a little video time. But yep, time for CalTracs on a what are these things? 88 to 98 OBS Chevy truck. I guess Suburban and Tahoe were both leaf sprung, I think, maybe. I can't remember. Never had one. But yeah, 88 to 98. OBS truck should be about the same. I can double check with the CalTracs website. But let's get to it.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Product, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
Let's see what we can get done. So last time you guys seen it, we did the rear brakes, the Thor Brothers rear disc. What else? I think I did some wiring, some nitrous stuff or something as well. Along with the CalTracs, I'm going to do a fan controller and put the nitrous on the Holly. I don't think I'm going to video that because I may go over the fan controller in its own video, but I don't believe I'm going to do any more wiring videos because, well, wiring's not that fun, and it is the hardest video to make because it is like watching paint dry. So I don't ever go over this, but I guess, I mean, I would think it goes without saying, but please use jack stands and get the biggest jack stand you can possibly get. There's no way I would want to work under this truck under them little dinky 3 tons. Just be safe, because if you're like me and you're out here in the shop by yourself a lot, well, if this thing falls on me and my phone's in there, which, matter of fact, my phone is laying in there, well, I better hope somebody can hear me yelling. So just play it safe. Be careful what you're doing. All right, we'll stick these over here out of the way. So, got that there. Got a shim on this thing. Make sure to put the shim back. What else? Guess we can go ahead and pull the leaf spring. Sometimes you can get up in here with Sometimes you can get up in there with an impact. Sometimes it's a little snug. But we'll probably, and really it don't matter if you pull the shackle loose from the hanger or the spring loose from the shackle. Just go with whatever's easiest, because you're going to be up in there with that bushing. So alright, so we're going to try to get this bushing here pushed out. I knocked a bunch of stuff in the floor over here. That other one popped real hard, pow, and all this stuff fell off. So I had some specialized doodads just for this. But they flew everywhere. Sometimes you can use a socket. We'll get that stuck. Try this 1 1/16 here. All right, pretty sure the bushing came out. We'll still have to get that sleeve out of there, which ain't a big deal. You can just sawzall it and take a hammer and a chisel or an air hammer and just drive it out. Alright, so bushing came out, sleeve stayed. Let's take it over here to the vise and finish her off. Where this spring out wraps around, there's a gap. Sometimes you can take a sawzall and get in there and cut where that gap is, where the spring out doesn't meet back to the, I guess, to the main leaf. You can get in there and saw that, and then take a chisel, a hammer, and kind of work around it. You'll get it out of there. Take a little time, but you'll get it. That's probably enough to get it loose there. All right, a little change of position there. Probably can't see what I'm doing. I should probably just give in and get the air hammer out and be done. But I'm being lazy. See, that guy came out in one piece. But I guess a struggle is probably better YouTube content, because what if you don't have a press? I'm working on not having a camera. Now my mic's broke. It no longer clips into the hot shoe or whatever it's called, or the camera. It's just dangling by the wire now. So, yeah, today's going real good. But yeah, you can take a drill and go around the bushing like a bunch and just drill it out, and it'll actually release the tension on the center sleeve, and you can knock it all out. But you still probably have to play games with this outer sleeve. So that's the rough way to get that thing out of there. It's a good idea. I tried it with the old Tootsie Roll here, but it didn't really do much. Get in there and clean that spring eye out with something. A nice steel brush would be good. I had one, but I don't know where it's at. This actually presses in fairly easy. You could probably, to be honest with you, use a piece of wood and that hammer and just send it on home. So, all right, I'm gonna get this this leaf spring hung, and then I'll go through showing you how all this bracketry and stuff goes on, since this side, which is done, we didn't get any footage. So let me get this spring hung in there, and I'll show you what's going on and how to do it. All right, hopefully you can see what I got going on here. So get the leaf spring hung at the back. You actually may have to hang it in the front to just loosely. Don't put it together. Just stick a bolt through the eye and then get that back shackle on. Especially if your exhaust is routed like this one. It's, pretty much in the way. So you'll take this guy here. This doohickey sits on top of the spring. So feed your bracketry through like so, and then this steel sleeve, it actually fits this bracket here, so that's what kind of lines all that goodness up. I do not have a hammer. I have this ratchet. Thing that fell was the flip perch. So we got that there. Anti-seize, the sleeve and the steel sleeve, the aluminum sleeve and the steel sleeve. We'll put some on this bolt here. Jars about had it. It's thick too. Alright, that should be good enough to make a good mess. Set that out of the way. Then you want to lift this thing up. Sometimes this can be a chore. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. What we'll do I jack the rear end up higher than it should be. That way I'm not hitting anything when I go to swing this under here. Brackets on, nut in the washer here. Go ahead and take your jam nut and run it all the way up this way, and make sure all your U-bolt stuff is good to go. I'm gonna set the rear end back down. Go ahead and take this lower hum out. Make sure you pick the correct hole, which this thing is set up in the most rearward hole because it's lowered. Alright, so you got your spring plate on, your front bracketry on. Go ahead, grab this guy. It's got an adjustment hex. Hex goes to the front. It is right-hand thread, so while we're here, did this to the other side. Let's just put a little sauce on that bad boy, just to keep it from, you know, any moisture. All right. So get this guy threaded in. Like I said, right-hand thread. I'm just gonna run it all the way up to the jam nut. Like so. Then this back one's left-hand thread, so remember that. And we're going to do the same with it. Just going to run it all the way up to the jam nut. And then hold this one and just start backing the actual rod off until your heim lines up with that hole. Stick your bolt in, make sure everything's tight, all your leaf springs. And really you need a buddy to give you a hand in properly adjusting these, because the weight of everything needs to be in the vehicle before the preload is actually set. But I'll show you how to set the preload. I'm not fast enough to sit in the truck and then run back around and adjust it before the preload, you know, before my weight comes off. I've tried, but tripped over the jack. It wasn't pretty. So yeah, CalTracs are loosely installed. I'm gonna go back, hit all the spring perch bolts, tighten up my heim bolts front and back, check over everything, and I'll show you how to do the preload right quick, and then we'll wrap this video up. So let's just say the truck's on the ground, wheels, tires on it, it's sitting on a level surface somewhere. So what you'll do is, see how that's not touching? See, if you roll it this way, you see how it rises? You want to come back until it just touches. Now keep in mind, weight of the vehicle, flat surface, and you'll go a quarter to a half a rotation depending on what you want. But I believe they say a quarter turn, which is 2 flats on this piece up here, and you'll preload it. And if you, I don't know if you've seen that, watch the leaf spring real careful. I'm gonna put some weight on it, and you'll actually see the spring kind of arc up a little bit, or you know, you see the arch of the spring change. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but yep, that's how you do it. All right, well, that's pretty much it for the assembly of a set of CalTracs on a OBS Chevy. Probably pretty much the same on anything you're installing them on, because they only fit leaf springs. So there's that. Well, I got a few more things to do to this truck, so I'm gonna get it spun around and jump on that. Don't necessarily know if I'll video it or not, because I'm not good at videoing wiring. It kind of sucks anyway. So thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage, and we'll see you on the next one.